What is up, guys? It's your boy Rick Buildmaster Cacus, and today, just shut up and use this Warlock build. And I say that because, listen, I'm coming off of 5 hours grinding heroic Wellspring with nothing to show for it. The one thing that kept my sanity was this absolutely unreal Void Warlock build. Guys, this is genuinely one of the most powerful builds for PvE in the game right now, and also importantly, it's one of the easiest to throw together through some really accessible mods. And heck, there's gonna be a really great exotic for this, but you don't even necessarily need it to make this work. Anyone can throw together this build and, beat the legend campaign, do whatever, and you're gonna see some background gameplay of, again, not just that heroic 1580 Wellspring, but also some 100k Nightfall gameplay. Like, I'm not just using this in lost sectors and claiming this build's OP, I'm using it in actual content, and it is really, really good. So, let's put this build together. Now, in terms of the exotic armor piece, we have the Controverse Hold exotic gauntlets. The perk here, Chaotic Exchanger, says resist incoming damage while charging your Void Grenade. Charged Void Grenades return grenade energy on a hit. Again, these are not necessarily required, but they will certainly bring the build together, and their purpose is just to get you that extra grenade energy and provide a degree of survivability when you're picking the perfect spot of a bazillion enemies to absolutely obliterate. Now, in terms of what to use for your subclass, first off, put on Vortex Grenade. Holy crap, smack my ass and call me Sally. This thing is absolutely goated with the sauce right now, because in the Witch Queen, it got a massive buff. It is now going to suck enemies into its center. So whereas before you would throw your Vortex Grenade and enemies would just walk away and it would do kind of okay damage if you threw it perfectly on an enemy, now it is going to literally suck entire groups of spawning enemies into the center, damaging them the entire time. This is genuinely, it might literally just be the best PvE grenade in the game right now. So obviously we're using that, and then in terms of our aspects, firstly, we do have Chaos Accelerant. We got the gauntlets on that give you benefits for charging your grenades. Obviously, we got to use the aspect that lets you charge your grenades, and for Vortex Grenades specifically, it's going to increase the size and the linger duration of the vortex, and that size also applies to the effectiveness of the suck. You're going to be sucking people from across the dang map. Like, I'm not even kidding. I've seen Scorns like fly in from next Tuesday into the center of my grenade. It's unreal. But as we continue from there, you also really want to use the Feed the Void aspect. Devour is really, really important, because as soon as you get a kill with an ability, which is like not hard to do with your overpowered Void Grenades, then every other final blow is going to grant you grenade energy. So one single grenade, it is not uncommon to get your entire grenade back because of how many kills you got with that grenade. So you were just yeeting out grenades constantly and healing yourself every time you get a kill as well. So your survivability is really, really high with this build. Moving on to the fragments, guys. First things first, we do have Echo of Remnants. This is just going to increase the duration of your lingering effects. And it says right there, Vortex Grenade, obviously, we got to put it on. Then we're actually going to use Echo of Expulsion. Void ability final blows cause targets to explode, and it gives you plus 10 intellect. This is another reason this build really comes together, because it makes your already extremely deadly Vortex Grenades even more deadly, because now you kill like a couple red bars in there and they explode and then really damage the yellow bars also in your Vortex Grenade, and then they die, they explode, and you just start to chain off, and it means that your Vortex Grenades are even more effective in getting all those kills and triggering Devour final blows a bazillion times. It's awesome. Then lastly, we do actually have Echo of Undermining, and this is going to grant a weaken effect to targets hit by your Void Grenades. Now it does apply minus 20 discipline. Yes, that's an absolute downside, but to be honest, I'm only running 90 discipline with this build, so technically it would be like 110 before. You could probably get away with running 80 discipline. You're getting your grenades back because of Devour, because of the weapons we're going to show off, because of all these other reasons, because of the Controverse Hold. You don't necessarily need to have, pure 100 Devour, and so that minus 20 doesn't matter as much as you think, whereas the weaken effect makes this way more effective against more powerful enemies. So in terms of those weapons, what we're doing is using the Judgment Hand Cannon, basically just a good primary, a good kinetic here with Demolitionist. I'm using it because of Demolitionist to get more grenade energy, simple as that. Then for my secondary, the Deafening Whisper. This thing is unbelievable with this build, and specifically I have one with Wellspring, which is going to generate ability energy for whatever is uncharged when you get kills. So if you're just only using your grenades, it's basically like Demolitionist, and importantly, this is Void. There's a lot of different weapons you can use, but you really want to make sure you're using 2 different powerful Void weapons. And our other one is actually going to be the Deathbringer. Yeah, this thing is really good. It got a catalyst in Season of the Splicer, which makes it way better. Like, you're going to be hitting max damage for the Deathbringer way more often because of this catalyst, and this is going to spread an absurd amount of damage either over a massive group of enemies, as you've been seeing in the background, like it just kills like an entire wave of enemies, or it will do a lot of damage to a single target, especially when we start going into mods. Now, the reason we're using 2 Void weapons is because we have, firstly, Elemental Armaments, get kills with Void weapons, get Void Elemental Wells. Obviously, picking up those Void Elemental Wells gives you ability energy, it's all synergistic. Now, our other way to trigger Void Elemental Wells is Elemental Ordnance. To be honest, Elemental Ordnance is so good and so consistent, you will 100% get a Void Well every time you kill an enemy with your grenade. And with a charged Vortex Grenade, it's almost impossible not to get a kill. So you could honestly forego armaments and just use ordnance if you really want to. But the reason we have Void Elemental Wells is because there are so many payoffs right now. The first payoff, honestly, is just going to be Font of Might. It only costs 1 energy through the Season's Pass, and it means that when you pick up a matching Elemental Well, so your Void, you pick up a Void Well, you get 25% bonus damage for your Void weapons. So that Deathbringer you got on, yeah, that's now going to be hitting for 25% bonus damage. Just insane. And again, available for everyone, only 1 energy, you gotta be using this thing. Then we also have another payoff here, Well of Tenacity. So you pick up a Void Elemental Well, you get, now it's actually just been buffed, 40% damage resistance for only 5 seconds, but still, that's going to let you run out, get a well, and then get back to safety thanks to that extra damage resistance. And then yet another payoff you can use is Volatile Flow. This is again a seasonal artifact mod, and it says picking up a Void Elemental Well grants your Void weapons volatile rounds. And volatile rounds means when you hit an enemy with volatile rounds and then they die, they explode. So basically, what you've already done via that fragment to your grenades, where now enemies are exploding when they're getting killed by your grenades, this also applies it to your weapons. So that Deathbringer is somehow even more deadly and amazing at taking out groups of ads. Your Deafening Whisper is now absolutely just clearing out entire enemy spawns with 1 single shot. Like, it is really insane. However, if I'm being honest, this does work better with a Void primary weapon. Specifically, there's a 900 RPM Viced SMG right now that is unbelievable. I think it's the Funnel Web with this thing, so that's what you'd want to run if you have it. But honestly, guys, run whatever you want. There is basically so many payoffs you can't go wrong. The one thing I would recommend is Font of Might. I think that's really the thing that brings it together, but if you want to lean towards Volatile Flow and try to get more weapon kills, you can absolutely do that. But something else you can consider doing here, guys, is putting on the Stasis mod Elemental Time Dilation, which increases the time-limited benefits of Elemental Well mods. So then combine that with Well of Tenacity for that damage resistance, and you can go up to 10, 15 seconds of 40% damage resistance, become an unkillable tank with this build, right? I'm just giving you the tools to craft your own perfect build for whatever activity you're doing at the moment, because the synergies are just, they're too much, right? You just have too little mod slots for all the insane stuff you can be doing here. However, the main features of buffed Vortex Grenade with Chaos Accelerant combined with the right fragments just makes it so darn powerful, so good at clearing out adds, even good against, hitting bosses and so on. That lingering damage really adds up, and the weaken effect is great as well. You just have to jump on top of that ability and craft a build around it. So guys, that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickKakis. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.